Welcome back, everybody, to the Pierce the Canvas podcast. As always, it is Pierce here. Today's November 25th, 2020, day before Thanksgiving for everyone in the United States, so happy early Thanksgiving. We're coming off a pretty, considerably big show here since it's kind of like a go-home show for a pay-per-view almost. Next week is the Winter is Coming tagged AEW Dynamite episode with the biggest match, inarguably the biggest match in AEW Dynamite history between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. So I say this is a big show because again, it's kind of everything building up to everything going on next week, and it's not only that, we're gonna get into a few other things that will be taking place next week as well. This episode of Dynamite was, it was pretty average. It wasn't absolutely amazing or anything. Even just looking at the card, there weren't necessarily any huge matches. Our main event was Rey Fenix and Pac versus Butcher and Blade, which was a pretty great match, but that's about as good as it got on the show. But I think like there was a promo segment between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega that I thought went great. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. The show started off with Hangman Page versus John Silver. Evil Uno came out first to tell us that Dark Order has personally requested this match. John Silver says that he's Johnny Hungy. If you watch BTE, you'll know at least a little bit of where all that crap comes from. And actually, I don't think this happened in the arena. This happened backstage. But anyway, the match started, and John Silver's doing all his comedy stuff, asking Hangman for a fist bump. Hangman refuses. There's one point where John Silver's showing off his muscles compared to Adam Page, because he's a big, ripped dude, right? Like, buff, big, muscular guy. He's short, but he's got the muscles. And compared to Hangman Page, this guy's really muscular, so he's, like, showing off compared to Adam Page. There's one point when he like smacks his ass. Whatever. Silver connected a diving crossbody early on in the match. Guys are trading shots at one point. Silver lands a snap German for a near fall. Hangman got a sliding lariat for a near fall. Hangman caught Silver's crossbody attempt from the top rope, threw him over his head, and landed a standing moonsault also for a near fall. It's not the only near fall. Or that's not the last near fall, I should say. Hangman went for a buckshot. Silver reversed with a crazy-looking Hurricanrana. Kind of spiked him down. Lands a brainbuster for a near fall. Guys are exchanging holds. Hangman gains the advantage and lands a powerbomb for a near fall. Lands a buckshot lariat for the win. And after the match, Dark Order came out. Evil Uno says that they're not there to jump anybody. They regret having done so before in the past. It's happened before where Dark Order's jumped Adam Page. Says Adam Page has regrets too, and then he said something about a cult. I'm not sure if he was like calling the Elite a cult or something like that. He said something about a cult, but then after that he basically said that Dark Order's here for you, man, and you know where to find us. So, honestly, like, it seems like since Dark Order's been a thing, they've been trying to get Hangman Page, so who knows where that's going to lead. We'll see what happens in the future. Next, we see Marvez with Omega about next week's match. Asks about the incident with Moxley. Omega's had a lot of time to reflect, says the more times change, the more they stay the same. Omega says that this time last year, he was dealing with injuries inflicted by Moxley. A year later, Kenny sees Moxley's face on all the magazines, calling him the best in the world. Kenny says he needs what Moxley has, which is the AEW Championship. Kenny's been clawing his way to get people to take him seriously again. Kenny tells John, please leave the garbage wrestling at home. You can pin me, submit me, even choke me out, but do it with the best of your ability, not using all these crazy tactics. Kenny closes with saying that Moxley is a good guy. Congratulates him for the kid that's going to be coming. Kenny believed every word Moxley said last week. And then he kind of like left for a second, but then he came back and said, your dad can't be all that tough, though. My dad could have beat the shit out of you, basically says that. So he brings Moxley's dad into this. And that was that. Next, we see a Darby segment, and of course, he's doing some crazy stuff. He's like kicking windows out of this car or something. He spray paints on the roof of it, survive if I let you. That's a message to Team Taz, of course. He lights a trail of gas inflaming the entire vehicle, TNT title in hand, and yeah, so quite a statement from Darby Allin with this little video package. And so this leads us to the next match, which is Powerhouse Hobbs. So that's his heel name. He's not going by Will Hobbs anymore. He's going by Powerhouse Hobbs versus Lee Johnson. Taz clarified at one point during this match that it was a Team Taz collaborative effort to figure out the new name. And poor Lee Johnson, man, he just looked so scared. Like, before this match started, he already looked like he was shitting bricks. As soon as the match starts, he just runs. I don't know if he, like, slid in between his legs or something, but he jumped on the top rope. Will Hobbs is going after him. Lee Johnson does a backflip off the top rope to try to escape, but Powerhouse Hobbs takes him down. The crowd's chanting, "You sold out." So this guy's getting some good heat. Taz, at that point, is when he mentioned that the name's a collaborative effort. Hobbs is throwing Lee around while telling him, it's just business, man. It's just business. So that's what Hobbs is doing all this for. Powerhouse Hobbs power slams Lee Johnson for the win. And then this is a real weird segment. It almost felt as if like they had written 10 minutes too little TV. So they put this segment in. It was Taz coming to the ring to like basically do a shoot style promo. He says Team Taz has been celebrating with Hobbs. He's real proud of Hobbs. He just got a win here. He's like, what, Hobbs, head to the back and celebrate. I got some stuff to take care of. So he sends Hobbs to the back. And Taz has a problem. Says that AEW has been disrespecting the FTW Championship. Says that he's not going to leave until someone from management gets their ass to the ring and makes the FTW title mean something. Which it's like, what's somebody going to do anyway? They're going to walk to the ring, okay, somebody from management, and then what? How's the title going to matter? So I don't know what he was expecting to happen here, but yeah, into him talking, his mic gets cut out. Taz forces Justin Roberts to hand over his mic. Taz basically threatens Keith Mitchell and Tony Khan in the back that he'll do something at the announce desk. He was like, I'll go to the announcer booth and you won't mute me there, or something like that. Taz is asked to leave by Tony Khan. Somebody delivered the message to him, or I guess the announcers are just saying that or whatever. There was no Tony Khan on screen or anything. Cody comes out at one point, and he's in his like producer gear. Like, he has the producer headset. He's got like his like little suit on and stuff, or his suit jacket or whatever. He's telling Taz, "Listen, you're done, man. Like, this is it. You're wasting time." It's like he was trying to tell him, "You're wasting valuable TV time, man. Like, what's going on here?" Cody offers Taz he and Allen versus Starks and Hobbs for next week. Taz says, I'm not here for that. I need somebody to give my title respect. He's tired of this shit. There is a lot of swearing in this segment. Cody says he's going to put the title on the flagpole or something. Taz gets pissed off. Cody asks Taz why his, hey, why don't you tell me, why does your son train with me but not you? So he gets his son into this. Taz says that Cody went too far. He says, "You went too far, man. Listen, that was stupid, man. That was stupid." And Cody's basically like, "All right, you're done now." And Taz is like, "Yeah, I'm done. And Cody's like signaling for a commercial. He's like, all right, cut to the commercial now. But then Taz grabs a hold of Cody and chokes him out. I swear that's like the first wrestling. I've been watching wrestling for whatever, not that long, like 12 years, compared to some people. I've never ever seen Taz do any wrestling that entire time, and I knew Taz probably that whole time. So that was kind of cool. Nightmare Family comes for the save, and Taz's son shows up. I don't think we got like a face reveal. It looked like he was like decked out. I don't know if his face showed up. Maybe I looked away for a second, but he was like in a hoodie and stuff. And he's carrying the tag, or rather the FTW championship, and they walk off to the back. So that was a weird segment, man. But I guess I enjoyed it. I was entertained. Next, we see Alex Marvez with Eddie Kingston. Asks about losing Penta and Fenix from his little team, from his family, I guess. Eddie says that he's not mad at his former best friend, and Ray Fenix does all his flippy stuff, but whatever. He acknowledges Pac too and calls him a bunch of names. One of them, he calls him Poop. He's like, Poop. He's like, I don't know. He calls him a bunch of other stuff. Whatever your name is. He's like, I'll play the long battle with you, man. Clearly you want to draw out this little rivalry, so we'll, all right, we'll do it. Whatever. And then a couple seconds later, Jon Moxley shows up, and he's in Kingston's face. He's like, because I guess he's kind of implying, like, the fuck you do to me last week, man? Like, did you attack me? Kingston, he didn't say that, though. He was just, like, staring a hole through Kingston, and you could tell that that's basically what Moxley was trying to communicate. Eddie says that he didn't do it. Says that they both have other things to worry about. And then Moxley seems to take his word for it. He's like, all right, and he just leaves. So I guess Moxley doesn't really think that Eddie Kingston did it. So next up, we have our second match with the new team, Top Flight. This week they're taking on Team Hybrid 2. Of course, last week we had the post-match attack after the Young Bucks match, so that led to this. We see this is like a very small clip from of TH2 from Dr. Britt Baker's The Waiting Room. If you haven't seen that, it's a pretty entertaining segment that's been going on Dark, where she basically has like a talk show setup kind of thing, in a dental waiting room, and there's like a live audience there, and it really does look like it's like a full TV studio set. It's not in the arena or anything. So anyway, we saw a little clip of this. She had TH2 as guests on her show. I think she might have done another segment this past week. I didn't see it though, but I really like her stuff. Anyway, so match starts, and of course, I'm not even going to try to call every single thing that happened. There's a whole lot of super speed stuff, from both teams. I would even dare to say that there is maybe a little bit of sloppiness in this match, like on the end of Top Flight. They weren't looking as smooth as last week, but still, they did fantastic. It's whatever. Dante gets a hot tag. Darius runs wild and lands shotgun dropkick to Jack Evans for a near fall. Top Flight gets a team-assisted powerbomb for a near fall, and shortly after they get a double tope. Dante lands a huge frog splash for a near fall, a massive frog splash, like one of the best things you'll ever see there. Jack Evans lands a huge dive on Dante before landing his assisted 450 for a near fall. And Helico's going for a buckle bomb, but it's reversed into a Rana for a near fall. And Helico locks in his submission finisher for the win. So unfortunately, Top Flight couldn't get the job done this week. After the match, though, TH2 continued to attack Dante. They continue locking the submission hold on him, trying to take out his legs. Basically, the story they're trying to tell is we gotta stop these guys from flippity flying all over the place and keep them grounded. So trying to injure them after the match. It doesn't last too long though. Young Bucks come for the save. And next we see Vicky, Guerrero, and Nyla Rose. Vicky's accusing AEW of nepotism towards Brandy. Says that Vicky never had to influence anybody to do anything. Jade Cargill just went and broke Brandy Rhodes' arm. Nyla Rose just went on her own and stopped the officials from saving. I don't know, she made some closing remarks that I missed. I don't think it was that important, to be honest. So whatever, I guess Vicky and Nyla Rose are taking Jade Cargill under their wing. I don't know what's going on with the whole Shaq thing. I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point. And then next we get another video segment with FTR, and they say that losing the title is the worst night of their lives. I think Cash said that. Dak said that for 3 seconds, just for 3 seconds, Young Bucks were the best tag team in the world, even better than FTR. He was man enough to admit that. But they are the baddest. FTR is still the baddest when it comes to tag team wrestling. And they need to take back the AEW tag titles. Tully says that it's FTR's destiny and that it's his own destiny to get FTR there. And it tells the Young Bucks to fear the revelation. So yeah, I guess it's going to happen. We're going to see the rematch at some point. I don't know if they could hold off all the way till February, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm all for anything with Young Bucks and FTR. And that led us to Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, who was accompanied by the entire Inner Circle, including MJF, who we saw for the first time. We saw all of them in the arena together for the first time, the new Inner Circle. They got new merch on. One thing that caught me slightly off guard was when they were advertising the merch, they didn't say go to AEW's shop. They said to go to like Chris Jericho's website. So I guess it's probably Chris Jericho's own merch, but all of Inner Circle were wearing it. I don't know, is AEW making any advances from that? But anyway, match starts with Jericho and Daniels, and they're trading shots and holds. Fun fact, both these guys have been in the wrestling business nearly as long as each other, and this is the first time they've ever faced off, Chris Jericho and Christopher Daniels. So that's kind of cool. Maybe 5 years ago they could have had a way better match 5 years ago. One-on-one. Inner Circle get the advantage, and they start beating the hell out of Kaz for a while. At one point, the ref gets distracted, and all of Inner Circle starts attacking Christopher Daniels. I think that was right before commercial, and once we got back, Kazarian landed his springboard leg drop for a near fall. Attempts Rana on Ortiz outside. Doesn't get all of it. Kind of botches it. Daniels landed a diving crossbody for a near fall. He also got a diving flatliner on Hager, and he landed his BME, best moonsault ever, which I don't think we've seen for a while from Christopher Daniels. Good to see he could still land that thing so smoothly. Just these guys like in their 50s, man, they blow my mind, like with how they could move. Jericho, Christopher Daniels, Minoru Suzuki, like. Fortunately, Undertaker's not one of those guys. Yeah, no. Anyway. MJF strikes Daniels with the diamond ring when the ref is distracted. Jericho lands a Judas effect for the win. Frankie Kazarian punches out MJF post-match. Inner Circle go after SCU. MJF is about to use the ring again until Scorpio Sky comes out for the save. Next up was a pretty wacky segment with Kip, Miro, and Penelope. They're in like a gaming room. They are one of the lucky people to have actually retrieved an Xbox Series S. So they just got their Xbox sitting there, and I guess this might be like a regular segment, because the way Jim Ross introduced this was, we're gonna take a look at Miro's new segment, or whatever. So I don't know if this is gonna be like a regular thing where they're in their like gaming room doing whatever. But anyway, shortly into it didn't last long. Orange Cassidy comes in. He just turns off their Xbox, and they get pissed off. Best friends show up, and everybody starts brawling. Best friends powerbomb Kip into a porta potty. Miro tells the cameraman to move and goes after best friends. Like, really what happened, like, Miro just took the camera and started yelling into it, "Get out of my way!" And he basically throws the camera down and just goes after best friends, and that was the end of that. So, okay. Next, we have the second half of the contract signing between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. Of course, Jon Moxley couldn't get it done because he was attacked by somebody, which we still haven't found out who it was. Tony Schiavone is in the ring to introduce the best wrestlers in the world, Kenny and Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, I should say. Kenny's entrance is going, the usual stuff. Justin Roberts is talking about the Observer Hall of Fame. It's just so funny, like, every time they always put some random thing in there. This time they're like, unlike the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the Observer Hall of Fame is in North Carolina or something like that. But I was like, why are you mentioning NASCAR of all things? But whatever. Anyway, so the entrance is going, the sweeper ladies come out, and we see the Kenny Omega silhouette. This was done so perfectly, man, so perfectly. So we see the Kenny Omega silhouette, and it's going, and then somebody shows up in the silhouette, and we see Jon Moxley in the silhouette, and he does his Jon Moxley like that, and you just see it in the silhouette. And he just starts beating the shit out of Kenny Omega, and it's just like a silhouette of guys fighting. And then anyway, he finally throws him through the curtain and throws him into the ring. The title is in the ring, and it got knocked down to the floor, and Kenny's trying to take the belt. Like, he's trying to take the belt basically and run away with it. So he's pretty much heel now, just doing all this stuff. But anyway, Moxley steps on the belt. You know, he's like not gonna let him take it. Picks him up, paradigm shift right onto the belt. Moxley gets the mic and tells Kenny he don't know who he hired to come after him, but they didn't do a great job. Says that he knows people, I think he said in Philadelphia, who could do a better job. Tells Kenny he pissed Moxley off. Says only one way to become champion is to dig down and find the Kenny Omega that everyone thinks he is. He'll have to climb a mountain no one's been able to climb for the last 18 months. Not too sure what that's referring to be honest. Says the biggest match in AEW Dynamite, the best two wrestlers in the world are going to tangle, and he says he loves this shit. Says win, lose, or draw, winter's coming for Kenny. I don't know like why he would say that though. Like, I think Moxley sometimes implies too much that he could lose. It's like, dude, stop. Like, just say you're gonna win. He says this ain't dancing girls with brooms. Says when it comes to the king, he's best not to miss. Tells Kenny to take his shot. He'll only get one. And on Moxley's way out, he thanks Tony Schiavone and signs a contract. Next, we see Alex Marvez again with the Inner Circle. MJF is pissed. He's beside himself about the sucker punch from Kazarian, even though MJF knocked somebody out with a diamond ring. Calls Kazarian a coward. Jericho says that after a fair victory, Kazarian dares to put his hands on MJF. He's gonna have, he might even have dental issues, he says. Jericho says the games are over with Inner Circle. They're gonna make Kazarian famous, because next week, for the first time, it's gonna be Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian. For some reason, I really feel like I remember that match happening before, but anyway. We're gonna see that next week, and I love Frankie Kazarian matches. I honestly do, so looking forward to that. And next up, we have a championship match. We have the AEW Women's World Championship on the line between Hikaru Shida, the champion, against Anna Jay. So we see a little video package before the match. Anna Jay says that she's no longer a rookie. When we first saw her, you know, she was new to the game. Now we're going to see the new Anna Jay. Hikaru says that I think like Hikaru was complaining about her knee for some reason. I feel kind of bad. I don't remember what happened to her knee, but she's like, "Oh, I know how to deal with these injuries. You know, whatever. It's part of being a champion." Basically, was what she says. And then we cut to Tay Conti actually, and she says that she has been training Anna Jay. You know, Tay Conti has the judo background. Hikaru says that Anna Jay doesn't even need this belt. She needs more heart, and she tells her to bring it. So not Inner Circle, Dark Order. I actually wrote down Inner Circle here. Dark Order. A few of them come out before the match starts for moral support. Match starts and there's some like slow awkwardness kind of at the beginning. They're like throwing each other into the corners, and it just looked a little weird, but. At one point in the match, Anna Jay demands a chair from Conchi. She reluctantly grabs a chair and hands it over to Anna Jay. But Anna Jay had this all planned out, so the referee's not okay with Anna Jay getting a chair, so the ref is distracted. Anna Jay gets away from the chair. One of the Inner Circle guys hands her a kendo stick, and she strikes Shida with the kendo stick. That led to a near fall. Shida escapes a chokehold from Anna Jay, attempts a suplex. Anna Jay reversed for a near fall. Shida lands a German suplex and forearm for another near fall. Shortly after, she landed her Tomache finisher for the win. And this brings Shida now to a 21-1 record, which is hilarious because that's what Undertaker's streak got to. But anyway, after the match, we hear some mysterious music playing, and up on the Titantron, we see a big Abaddon. And so Abaddon's back. Good to see that she's back. She came out after the match, crawling towards Shida. Shida's petrified. She like jumps back and falls. You know, and Abaddon's crawling. She has like a whole puddle of blood like falling out of her mouth. Like craziest looking woman in the world. Abaddon takes Shida's title because, you know, she like fell because of how scared she was, and she takes the title and she licks it, and there's like a streak of blood all over the title, and like Blech. Gross. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see Abaddon versus Hikaru Shida at some point soon, and okay, that'll be great, I guess, or that'll be at least fun. So on BTE lately, Matt Hardy has a million gimmicks as it is. On BTE though, sometimes he has his own like side BTE gimmicks. So one of them I thought was going to be exclusive to BTE, but he actually brought it to Dynamite. Basically, what his new gimmick is he's just always putting himself over. Calling himself the most innovative, part of the most innovative tag team in the history of wrestling. Just talks about how he inspired the Young Bucks. I'm the most inspirational guy in the world, whatever. Anyway, so he brought that to this little segment here. Says that he's the most innovative in wrestling. Says that with his superstardom, he encourages all of us to get through 2020. When he won the Elite Deletion, all was well in the world. If he can overcome that, we can all overcome our lousy problems. Tells us to thrive, survive, and win, and that he will be in a Battle Royal next week. And yes, there's going to be a Battle Royal next week for the Diamond Ring. I'm not sure. I think it is the same diamond ring that MJF's carrying. It's not just another diamond ring. So, because I think I saw MJF's advertised to be in that match as well. So yeah, we got another diamond ring battle royal coming up next week, and Matt Hardy will be in it. I think this was kind of what is it called, the big money mat or whatever. I think that's kind of the gimmick we got here, but he wasn't talking about money that much. He was just putting himself over. Anyway, also next week we will see Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. We'll also be getting that Battle Royal. We'll get Britt Baker versus Layla Hirsch, Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian, and a whole lot more. So next week's pretty stacked. Really looking forward to the show. So we get another Team Taz segment here. Stark says that Cody's crossed the line. All of Team Taz loves AEW, but the only problem is Cody Rhodes. Cody begged Tony Khan to cut Taz's mic because he's mad that Team Taz beat their poster boy Darby Allin last week. Now that Taz's son is in this, it's personal. Brian Cage says that Team Taz is the most dominant force in wrestling. And then we come to our main event, which is Butcher and Blade with the Bunny versus Pac and Rey Fenix. And of course, this happens with a lot of these matches. We had Eddie Kingston join the booth. Also, Butcher and Blade were accompanied by the Bunny. Pac and Rey Fenix are accompanied by Penta El Zero Miedo. So yeah, we had an official Death Triangle reunion. Butcher and Blade meet Pac and Fenix at the stage for a brawl before they even get in the ring. Match starts. Rey hits an early missile dropkick to Butcher. Pac and Rey Fenix take out Butcher and Blade with dives on the outside. Kingston explained that, Penta has all this charisma. He has all the skill in the world. He doesn't need his brother. You could have a great singles career. So he was like, I was trying to do him a favor. That's why I was trying to split him and his brother. But whatever. He apparently doesn't want to have the big singles career, so his loss is basically what Eddie Kingston says, which I gotta admit, and I'm pretty ashamed of this, I kind of missed, Lucha Underground. I wasn't there for that, unfortunately. I was I was honestly just watching WWE, just so ashamed to say it. But anyway, I hear so much about, how amazing Penta was in Lucha Underground as a singles. So I kind of want to see some of that myself, Maybe I kind of wish that he was off on his own singles run at this point, but hey, this Death Triangle thing's pretty cool too. So Blade and Pac are trading shots. Blade lands a huge clothesline. Rey and the Butcher come in. Rey attempts a springboard, but just literally crashes into the Butcher. He actually jumps springboards, knocks into Butcher, but the Butcher just no-sells it, and he just falls right down. Pac, right after that, takes out the Butcher. Penta's attacking Blade while the ref is distracted during the commercial. Rey Fenix gets a huge cutter, tags in Pac, lands Northern Light suplex for a near fall. Pac attempts a shooting star, so we're still not going to see that Black Arrow quite yet. I wonder when that's gonna be seen. Blade moved out of the way. Butcher gets tagged, clotheslines Pac's head off for a near fall. Blade lands his Dodger bomb until Rey dived onto onto him to break the pin. Pac and Ray kick Blade down. Bunny distracts the referee. Kingston attacks Ray Fenix. Butcher and Blade land their finisher for the win. So yeah, Pac lost his second match back, but I think it's okay because it's telling a larger story here with Eddie Kingston and Pac. That match is gonna pay off eventually, so I think this is being booked well. Butcher Blade and Kingston attack Death Triangle post match. Bunny slides a chair in the ring. Kingston DDTs Pac on the chair twice. And then who's to come out for the save but Lance Archer? So he comes out, takes out Butcher, Blade, and Kingston until eventually they escape, and the show ends with Lance Archer standing tall. So I don't know. I guess Lance Archer's just full on, babyface now. I guess I don't know, is he part of the Death Triangle? It's going to be a Death Square now. But yeah, so one thing I was kind of speculating a little bit that who attacked Moxley was Lance Archer, so I guess that's kind of out of the question now. Who could have it been? There's rumors that it's Kenta from NJPW. Totally could be. I hear a lot of people really being super enthusiastic. It couldn't have been him. It couldn't have been him. But you got to realize, wrestling's fake, okay? We didn't see who attacked Moxley, so they could just work that it was Kenta, you know what I mean? But I guess at the same time, it's, what are the chances that we're actually going to see, the New Japan AEW partnership quite yet? So I guess that is a little far-fetched. Who else it could have been? Not sure, but I guess we'll find out at some point. I'm guessing, Moxley's going to lose his title next week, and in that process, we're going to figure out who it was that attacked Moxley. Yeah, going to be a huge show, and there you go. There you have it. That's my prediction. I think that Jon Moxley drops the belt next week to Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega is going to have quite a reign. I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. And we will be back next week, right after AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Be sure to catch that show. It's going to be a big one. Be sure to catch his podcast. As always, I'm Pierce with Pierce Canvas. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. And for all the Americans out there, happy Thanksgiving. Take care, guys.